Hi, welcome or welcome back to Rise and Speak podcast. If you are a beginner speaker who wants to become a bold speaker, this is the place to be. And you know that. Thank you for being here. I have a co host, a very beautiful co host, Shruti Bettadapura. Hi, Shruti.
Hello, hi Manjunath. Happy to be back here.
Yeah, this is episode number 2. Are you excited for this one?
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah. So last one was great with Sheena Chowdhury, and today we have equally amazing guest speaker, and I'm so thrilled that she is here. And I'll tell you why I'm so thrilled about her. In 2024, I joined the Toastmasters Club, November 2024, and sometime during November or December that year, there was a contest going on, and that contest was all about table topics and evaluation. So I wanted to see what it was like, and I was there at Manyata Tech Park, and I saw many speakers give the evaluation as well as table topic speeches. And one person who caught my attention was the guest speaker for today. She was amazing. The way she spoke on stage with confidence truly inspired me. I had my 9-year-old son that day with me. And at the end of that event, after the contest, I wanted him to click a picture with her. To me, in my mind, she was like a celebrity. She is. I'm so thrilled to have her. Her confidence truly inspires me. Her stage presence truly inspires me. And the way she gives evaluations, that truly inspired me as well. And guess what? Today, for the first time, we're going to deep dive into evaluation. So if you're a beginner speaker and wondering, what is this evaluation all about? Why is that person so critical of me? Or why is this person just only praising or not giving me something useful? If those are the questions that have been nagging in your mind, today's podcast will answer those questions for you. Are you ready? Yes, I'm sure you are. Shruti, I'm going to hand it over to you. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Manjunath. That was just fabulous to hear. And like you mentioned, our guest speaker today is just fabulous speaker. I'm a fan of her. Whenever she's speaking on stage, there's magic in her words, and she brings out humor in everything, whether it is table topic or evaluation. The crowd is guffawing and laughing, and that's the energy she brings on stage. It's always a delight to have her, and I'm more than excited today to be introducing her formally for our podcast. And I'm sure our listeners are just going to have a great ride conversation hearing about evaluations, because evaluations is something that even I've been scared about. I'm still taking baby steps in learning it. But this video, to all the dear listeners, I'm sure you're going to benefit out of it, and it's going to make you bold speakers and bold evaluators. Please join me in welcoming Agilandeswari Kannan, program manager by profession, district first runner up in evaluation contest, multiple times winner of the international speech contest and humorous contest, and also the table topic contest till division level, and winner of multiple debate contests. She loves reading, loves to sleep and travel, but totally enjoys spending time with her kids. Please join me in welcoming Agilandeswari Kannan. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, Manjunath and Shruti. Happy and glad to be here.
So happy to hear. And how are you feeling today?
Good, great, excited to be part of the show. And I
And
hope comes
yeah,
up and it helps some people.
thank you. Thank you. I'm sure our speakers or our listeners are also curious to hear from you and learn what is speech evaluation all about. Today, we've decided to deep dive into understanding what is speech evaluation. So, Agila, first question over to you. Please tell us what, according to you, is speech evaluation.
As per me, personally, speech evaluation basically means, someone comes and delivers a speech, basically for 5 to 7 minutes, and they have a message or they just want to talk about some incident has happened in their life and they're sharing it to the audience. As an evaluator, what I would do is I would see what I really loved about that particular speech and not the person. What he or she has come and conveyed here for the 5 to 7 minutes. And I'll write down the things what I really loved about the speech. And I'll also write down the things what I think if I was delivering that speech, in my opinion, what I could have done it a little better. And then I'll share my feedback with the speaker. So I would be giving both good things and not so good things, and where they can really excel great at based on my observation to the speaker. At the end of the day, an evaluation only should motivate the speaker to come back to stage. And I think if we do that, people will grow in their own path wherever they want to shine upon.
Absolutely. I think giving that areas of improvement is very critical and it should not demotivate them. There is a very thin line between ensuring that they come back to stage and also accept the feedback. Please tell us from your experience, what was the negative feedback that you received in your early days for your speeches?
Honestly, I think I was blessed, or in some way or the other, I was in the right club with the right people, right mentors. I didn't receive any big time negative feedback. I was very good at my club level. I used to win at my club levels. I used to win at my area levels. And for some reason, always your club pampers you, your area pampers you. So I already thought that I am the best. I'm too good at things. At that point in time, I went to a very great person, Toastmaster Kadri, to evaluate one of my speech, which I was trying to give at division level. He heard my speech and literally he thrashed me into pieces. His evaluation made me feel my speech was nothing and I didn't do enough preparation. At that very moment, I really broke down, to be very honest, because I couldn't accept, because I already thought I was good. I won at club level, I won at area level. It is all nice, but that's not it. He made me understand writing a speech just to win at club level, area level is different, but writing a speech to be the ISC champion is totally a different game. How many hours did you put in? Honestly, I don't even remember putting in one solid hour because it just came naturally to me to speak, and I spoke on the club level and area level. He said every sentence counts. Every sentence should have a meaning. You should know what line to put, what not to put. Why should you put this line? Where is a clear opening? Where is a clear body? Where is a story? And where is a conviction in way you said where there was blood in your whole dress? I was talking about an accident. So more than the speech learning, at that point in time, I understood what does evaluation really mean.
Beautiful. That is very good. Interestingly, I've also met with DTM Kadri and he gave me feedback for my international speech contest as well. So I can totally relate to what you're saying. So, Agila, I want to deep dive into this. I know it's going to be a little challenging, but I want you to go back to that moment in life when DTM Kadri thrashed you, you said, right? What was your emotions like at the time? Be honest. What did you go through?
Smiling like this, but if there would have been another extra 5 minutes, I would have cried, might be, or but 100 inside the bathroom and cried a lot because at that moment in time, I was not ready to receive the feedback. The reason being, as I said earlier, I thought I was already good because I've won and I thought I'm good speaking. Everyone were clapping, and I was clouded because I saw only the first four steps, whereas Toastmaster Kadri could see the 100th step where he wants me to be. And you have to be in the 100th steps. There's so much of prep work you have to do. He first made me understand there's no clear opening body conclusion. Go back to your CC module, slow down. Because when I started my Toastmasters journey, trust me, I gave every week speech. I was the fastest person to complete the old CC manual, CL manual, and all of that. I was giving speech on everything possible because I can write a speech just by taking a PAL packet, milk packet from the ground floor to first floor. I can write a story about it. Just by waving hand to a stranger, I can write a story about it. Just by changing the battery to an alarm clock, I can write a story about it. Just by seeing a snake in my dream, I can write 100 speeches about it. So it came in naturally to me. But where he made me understand is storytelling is an art, and you have that art, but you're not utilizing it to the best. And most importantly, where are the vivid expressions? Where is the image that you're trying to put across? People should be able to see it out. But it was not too long because I was already a matured person to some extent. And in a week's time, I was back. Next 2 to 3 weeks, I just wanted to hide myself from the club, from the area. I didn't want to see Toastmasters Kadri at all. I thought I'll just run away to a place where no Toastmasters finds me. But slowly, eventually, a lot of other Toastmasters spoke to me, called me, they gave me the motivation, and then I came back. But this time when I came back, I know it was a bigger bounce because I knew what I really lacked. I used every word that he said to incorporate in my future evaluation, not on my speech. But it turned out to be from becoming more focused on ISS speeches, it turned out to be me being more focused on an evaluation path. And that's how I am here today.
That's very good. That's very good. In fact, Shruti mentioned that you are an amazing storyteller, and I've heard of that too. We would ideally want you on another episode where you tell us how you make up a story while carrying a pal packet from ground floor to first. That'll be interesting to listen as well. So quickly, I want to move on to the next question, because the next question you already answered. What do you do next? Now you know what you do, what you did, at least after DTM Kadri gave you that very powerful feedback. Now, as an experienced speaker, Agila, I'm just wondering, what has the transformation been for you personally, from being a person who took that feedback from DTM Kadri, which really brought you down? Probably you didn't want to show your face to your club members. How do you take feedback now? How do you see feedback now? How's that transformation happened?
Now, when I receive feedback, to be honest, I understood that I should not take anything personally, because if it's only for the speech that I have delivered. This feedback is not for me as a person. It is not for me as giving someone feedback on my character. It is not someone evaluating me as a person. So that segregation was very clear as years passed by. And I think that is something which I keep in mind when I evaluate someone, because I always say it is for the speech that you delivered today. It is not for the person, it is for the speech alone. And it is only one person's view. So when I receive feedback, I always do this. Over the years, what I've understood is people will give feedback. There'll be amazing feedbacks which will praise you on your speeches. There'll be feedbacks which will tell you where you can improve upon. Take all the praises, grab them, because who doesn't love to receive praises? But when feedback comes where you have to improve upon, you be your own evaluator. You be your own self-judging person to see if this really matters or not. Someone gives me, you have to improve on vocal variety. Someone says me, you have to use a stage presence. Someone says me, you have to pause a lot. Now, suppose I've received these three, what I will do is, see, sometimes I feel vocal variety at this particular stage is not needed. So I will ignore it. Sometimes stage presence, too much of jumping around, too much of drama is not my cup of tea. I am not someone who can do sudden falling down in the stage, jumping, all of that dramatics I cannot do. So I will ignore that. But many people continuously, speech over speech, I would say that you have to pause a lot. You have to slow down the rate at which you speak. Then I'll pick it up. Then I'll start working on it. Have I honestly achieved? I do work on that. But think always on multiple times, if you're receiving the same feedback again and again and again, I think that is something which we have to pick it up and work on it. And there are certain nuances which an evaluator gives you. Because if you would have done like this, the message would have gone so strong. That time, immediately we might not connect, but after a few hours or casually when you're cooking or you're just getting ready, this thought will come into your mind because you are the one who have written that speech. And that goes deep inside. I think it changes the perspective when we write the next speech and when we deliver the next speech. So some feedbacks takes a lot of time because we have to understand that is this something which you have to do? Some feedbacks really clicks on the spot that yes, I have to work on it. And some feedbacks we can clearly ignore because it is not needed for you as a speaker. So the choice for the person to take, what not to take.
Absolutely. I think it's a wonderful point. I would make note of that if I were you, my dear audience. It's a great point that she makes, that not all feedback is going to work for you. It's possible that sometimes the feedback that's given to you is not something that makes you comfortable. You don't have to do what everybody else does. But if you see a pattern, like she says, over a period of time, there is a repetition of feedback, it probably means something. You might want to reconsider. I remember my mentor, Srivatsa Kadaba, told me once that a feedback is like a gift. You never say no to a gift, and you never talk crap about somebody who's giving the gift. You take it, and once you take it back home, if you like it, you use it, or else you discard it. I think the feedback is for speeches are almost the same too. You might get a plethora of feedback. Some of them may make sense to you. It may make you feel like, yes, if I did this, I will get better. Make use of it. If you think something's not something that is going to work well for you, that's okay. You can keep that aside. You can discard that, is what you're saying, right, Agila? Did I get that right?
Exactly.
Shruti, I'm going to bring you up. Go ahead, please.
Yes. If we have a new speaker, and when do you think a new speaker is ready to evaluate a speech?
In my opinion, Shruti, I think there is no timeline for a person. You be in the club for 6 months, or you have to give speeches, or you have to give two speeches, or you have to give 100 speeches. No, anyone to start evaluating, that person should have gone through hundreds of evaluations already, which means at least they should see how the speaker is speaking, and they should also see how someone is evaluating the person. So after you hear multiple times, you will know, you will just little do a copycat of things. They are always saying voice modulation, body language, there's no call to action. In all of this, you will know. You'll also see that someone is always praising, saying that, great stage presence, good body language, conveyed with confidence, opening body conclusion is there. So you know what they really praise, what they really say as actions that they can really work upon. By then, you will know that when you observe a speech, you will start looking at those angles. Wow, excellent punchlines, great metaphors, great similes, all of this you can note it down, because your eyes and hand and ears all should be in sync when you're hearing the speech. And you also will know that I think this could have been better. This could have been better. You will write down two, three, four things, and then you should know which is the best thing. So it takes time, honestly, if you really want to excel at something. And it also takes time for you to get into an evaluating role. The reason being, you hold a great gift, because when you start evaluating, you can lift up someone to great heights. If you just go thrash them, that person might not come back. You can trash their confidence completely. And one wrong evaluation can be into a wrong turn for someone's life. Always make sure you are just evaluating the speech, and make sure that you always bring the best out of that person, and not to tell them you are a man with or a woman with a lot of flaws. You have an innate gift. These are your gifts. I think this or this little bit more can do better. I think it takes time, and there's no specific timeline. But I honestly feel they should listen to a lot of speeches, and they should listen to more of evaluations, because they should be able to write down the points, what they can observe from the speeches.
Right now, I'm just going through so many different things. I'm thinking back to the time when I received some really positive feedback, and I went through something like Agila mentioned. I was in cloud nine too. I was like, yeah, I know how to give a speech. I know the structure and all of that. But things don't always work out the way you want to, right? So all praising is not good. At the same time, all kind of critical, very negative feedback can also put the speaker off. And people say that once bitten, twice shy, which means once they receive some negative feedback, some people can get into that cocoon and not come back to give another speech. So we should be very, very careful as evaluators. We should understand that our evaluations can change people's lives, even in a tiny manner. It will have an impact. So, Agila, now I'm looking at two different perspectives. One, a person who's receiving the feedback. How should my attitude be if I were to receive the feedback? And that's what you spoke about all this time. Now, let's talk about as a giver of feedback. And you mentioned that if you give feedback in a wrong way, you could impact someone's life negatively too, right? It's so powerful. So, as a giver of feedback, my question now is, when do you think a person like me who's just getting started in the world of public speaking ready to even give feedback? When is he or she ready to give feedback?
You need to take some time to give feedback. Now, imagine I have given some 10 speeches, and my mentor says you're good to go with this feedback. But for me to give feedback, I should know some good things that I can enact and tell them, I am strong at this. So when I give an evaluation saying that you have to improve on these things, I can give them as a feedback. For example, when I say someone, I've listened to a speech, and if I say someone, your voice modulation was not that great, feedback number one, and your feedback number two is going to be you didn't use your stage presence, I think it doesn't make sense. When I give feedback, I have to enact how I would have done that with respect to voice modulation. When the father shouted at the son was so scared. He was just shivering. He was about to cry. And then he gave a staring look. So you should have done this, is what I have to enact and show. when I say someone that you have to bring in humor, I should put in that humoric point there. When I say when you could have used a stage present, I should say that, when you said spoke about the 1950 war, could have stood here. Then you said you saw people dying at different years with the war. So you could have just taken the stage from First World War, Second World War, and then what you're expecting to come in the future as a Third World War. That's how you use a stage. Is it really needed? Not for all speeches, but this speech had a lot of scope because you had different timelines in your speech. So I always feel that when you think that you are ready, you should know that can you enact? Are you at a stage to give the feedback with the expression or with the point how you can explain that feedback? Otherwise, if you just give back feedback saying, just work on your voice modulation, work on the stage presence, you're very scared on stage, it really doesn't make sense. That is just some robot coming and telling it in front of them. Or it also doesn't have the credibility to the speaker, the evaluator, whoever is coming and speaking, because you're just telling it just casually. If you were me, will you be able to do it? That's exactly how the evaluator should enact that and say. So I think it takes time. Observe to the speaker, observe a lot of speeches, observe a lot of evaluations. And then when you think that, yeah, I'm able to catch at least three good things, I'm able to catch at least three areas of improvement in the next 10 speeches where you think as a practice time, I think you're good to go. And it takes time. Sometimes we will fumble, sometimes we might forget, sometimes we might not get anything. It's still okay, but have a good amount of practice time, because without that, I think you should not guide someone wrongly. That's my feel.
Very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not about giving feedback. It's not just about preaching. You should also be able to showcase the corrected behavior, ideally how it should have been done, so that they see the difference. Okay, ideally I should have done that way and I did it this way and I see the difference. That's my area of improvement. So that becomes more concrete. Excellent, excellent point. Thank you. Shruti?
Yeah, I think that's when you're also demonstrating to them how it can be done better. It's not just telling them that this is how you need to correct. You're showing them the path. These are the ways in which you can correct. So that's just very nice. So moving on in terms of evaluation, is there a particular method that you follow for doing the speech evaluation? Any method for this madness of speech evaluation?
Honestly, there are multiple methods people follow. I keep it very simple. I always open with my own line when I hear the speech with respect to the theme or the topic what they are speaking. And then I find out the best things about the speeches. I always convey three best things. I stick to three. Even there are five good things, I always stick to three. If there's only one good thing, I try to use my brain and heart so much to make it to three good things, because three is not because it's a lucky number. I think anyone who's receiving the feedback, if they receive the feedback, multiple good things, they will feel little wow inside, they'll feel little satisfied inside, and there's a smile on their face. I think I want to see that smile on the speaker's face. So I always stick to three good things. I write down the things which I think for a person, for me, I think this I would have done it a little better. I write down those things. Sometimes it is just one, sometimes it is even 10. But I see out of these 5 or 10, what is really needed at a longer run, what is really apt for this particular speech. And then I pick up 3 or 2, and then I give this as an area of improvement. So one opening line generally I will tell from my side, and then I acknowledge the speaker, and then I 3 areas where they really shined well, 2 or 3 areas where they could have done better, and overall I summarize it. Very simple. People use different acronyms, different methods, but I keep it like this all the time that I evaluate. It's just my style, and I want to keep it very, very simple.
Okay, so start with the good things. Start with three good things to praise them, to make them feel happy that this is all went well in their speech, and then go on to the areas of improvement. Depending on what they can excel at, identify those and then give that. Very nice, very precise. During the evaluation time, when you are sitting there, do you make copious notes? Like you're actually listening, you are even writing. How do you keep up with that?
I think I have one skill by nature. I think I'm an excellent person who can copy, be it in exam or be it when someone is speaking.
Okay.
Fancy, my ears will hear and my hand can continuously write. The only drawback is that what I write, no one else can read and understand it. And sometimes even I myself don't understand my own handwriting. So sometimes people in evaluation, what is this letter? What word is it? I only wonder, because my own, but somehow I can make out with that particular line what I've tried to write it down. So only my handwriting was understandable to me, and that too only at sometimes I can understand. So I can write it down. So I usually write down whatever I put it into, 3 columns: good areas of improvement, good ones, and areas of improvement, and catchy lines or something very unique that I feel has to be called out in my evaluation. I write it down. So when I hear, the theme is on this, I write it down on themes. Whatever I want to write extra, that will be on the third column. But I feel, yeah, this person really excelled at, the message was crystal clear. I'll write it down. One. Then two. Then this is not really good. I think there's absolutely blunt line. There's no pause at all. The person is just running. I'll do no pause. Too many words within 1 minute of a speech. So I'll write down whatever I want. After I write it down, they'll give us usually 5 minutes of time, and I'll take just some 30 seconds time to just observe. Does it all make sense? Or I just see, okay, this can be still ignored. I think the person didn't give a pause. I think I can still ignore it. Or I think, no, it has to have a pause because that was a very strong message and there was no pause. Then I will keep that. Then I'll pick up 3 things which are very good, which are not so good. In the 3 things, I'll rank them, which has to be going first, which should go second, which should go third. And then I'll come up with my opening line, the closing line, and I write it down. But I usually write down everything that I feel is important, not everything, but what I feel as important, which I want to call it out because I should remember and tell it out when I do the evaluation. I write it down. It just goes hand in hand for me.
I remember when I was giving evaluation, writing down these notes was one of the challenges. It was a little challenging for me to make notes as well as see what was going on the stage. But you don't struggle with that, do you? It's pretty
No.
easy for you. That's good. As a giver of feedback, have you faced a really challenging situation? What happened? Can you narrate something about that?
The once or twice I've listened to some amazing speakers, and
Yeah.
evaluator. The first thing was, thank God I'm not evaluating this person because I couldn't find even one area of improvement. It was really, really difficult. And so at that point in time, I realized that if you really have to evaluate, the best of the best speakers, how will I do it? So I started listening to a lot of world champion speeches. Honestly, I didn't find any areas of improvement, but I forced myself that you have to give an evaluation because there are a lot of good things. You can just list it down, a lot of good things, but you have to find still one area of improvement. So what I did is I started to listen to general evaluations from a lot of people. So I made a notebook. I took a notebook and I usually have things right now. Pick anything, no opening body conclusion, there's no humor, there's no storytelling, there's no personal storytelling, there are too many anecdotes, there are too many characters. So I've listed down what all possible things that someone can say as an area of improvement. Now listen to the best of the best speeches. You have to put a tick mark, and you ideally have to put a tick mark to everything. But there'll be at least one thing where you can't put a tick mark. And that tick mark is not honestly needed for this particular speech at all. For example, someone is sharing a personal storytelling, and you cannot say there were too many characters, it didn't make sense, or it was very confusing. No, that person is only talking about the father and a son. Now, where is there too many characters? You can't tell that. So it is little difficult, but I think if we're able to find one or two things, at times I think it is okay to genuinely say the speech was flawless also. I think while giving feedback, sometimes I felt this person who has given the speech has taken it for an advantage, just come and blabbered and wasted a lot of people's time, or that person has not prepared at all. Now, having the fear and not coming and delivering is different, but someone just took it very casually is also a different ballgame. So that time I have to give very feedback very politely, saying that use your time wisely, forget about others' time. Okay, and make sure that preparation is always there. And every time when I give an evaluation to someone, specifically for the areas of improvement, it is not something me giving or preaching them. It is somewhere deep within. I should also know that I have to do that. When I say use your body language well, it is a reminder for me that when I deliver a speech, no matter what, I have to keep sure that I use my body language very well. I'm not closing my hands. And every time when I say someone specifically that, you really did good at it, I should mean it. I should just not say something just for the sake of it. If I don't feel it and if I just say it for the sake of it, I'm giving a false information or feedback to a speaker, and we are just blindsiding them in a very wrong way. I don't want to do that. If I think it was okay, I will not say you did an outstanding speech and then say that, you have so many areas of improvement. It doesn't make sense. So I will always say if it is an average speech, I liked your speech. I don't say I loved your speech. If I really loved the speech, I'll say I really liked your speech. I loved the speech because this was there. However, I think that this can be done a little better, in my opinion. So this is how I break it down to things and say two things. If there is absolutely no area of improvement, try to find one. You will find one. But at times, if you fail, I think we can still go ahead and say it. And that's very, very rare until or unless you are evaluating the champions of the champions, which I don't think we are doing it at right now at our club levels. So that's fine. And it's very important we do not shame a person in front of a lot of people. And Toastmaster is a platform where we applaud for the flaws because we see that the flaws will disappear over a period of time and we want you to come back to stage.
Beautiful. So now, if you were to give one thing that the audience can take away listening to this podcast of yours, Agila, what would that be?
One thing. I think since I own my skills on evaluation, and if you are a person who wants to become a great evaluator, I would honestly suggest you to listen to one speech. It need not be a Toastmaster speech. It can be any speech that you want to listen in YouTube speech. Pick it up for 5 to 7 minutes. Hear multiple speeches and write down after listening to the speech what you really liked. Just one or two things. That's all. And one or two things where you think that this could have been better. 10 minutes every single day if you spend for this. 10 minutes just go off like this. Put your AirPods, while you're walking for grocery shop, while you're just doing something very casually, cooking, making dosa, packing the boxes, anything. Even when you're sitting in the loo, you can just put that AirPod and, listen for the 10 minutes, trust me, and just write down in your phone or in your notepad. But have one particular place where you store it over every single day. You will have 1,000 ideas where you can say a speech can be good at these many ways. You will have 1,000 ways to tell that the speech can improve in these many ways. And you need not memorize, you need not go through anything later because you've already done the practice every single day. 10 minutes is all that you need. Over a period of time, you will be a master at it. You can nail any evaluation because you have already heard thousands of speeches. I think this really helps. It has helped me. If it has helped me, I'm sure it will help any one of you here.
Absolutely. That's wonderful. Thank you for that wonderful tip, Agila. So listen to a speech per day between 5 to 7 minutes. Take a notepad, write down the things that you liked, certain things that you'd like to improve. If you were to give that speech, how would you do it differently? That's a question that could drive you to become a better speaker. Wonderful advice. Thank you very much. Shruti, do you have any more questions for Agila before we sign off?
No, I think it was just fabulous. Now I know how to play my evaluation game,
Yes.
and I think I'm going back to listen to all her answers and work more on my own skill of improving my evaluations.
Yeah. Shruti is so amazing that about 3 or even 6 months ago, I think, when we were talking about it, I asked her who should be as a guest on our podcast. The first name she said was Agila. So that's how much she loves Agila. And I'm so grateful, Agila, for being a part of this podcast, this episode specifically. I appreciate your presence today. If people were to reach out to you, how can they? Do you have an email address? Do you have a LinkedIn profile, an Instagram to connect with you?
Just type in Agilandeswari Kannan in my LinkedIn. I think I'm the only person with Agilandeswari Kannan, Agilandes. No WA space Kannan. You will see the same face there. I've not put my childhood picture or my college picture. The same, something similar to this dress is what I would have put in because most of the time I cannot recognize people. What is this face and the actual face and the LinkedIn picture, or even because after seeing the team's picture, when I see them in reality, sometimes my face just expression changes. So don't get worried. It will be the same face and a similar, a very unique idea, Agilandeswari Kannan, because for some reason my father kept that name because one child came running when I was born saying, keep Agilandeswari. initially will be A means she can be first in the row. I hate that person because I don't get that privilege of sitting at the back. Halfway through the answer, the teacher grabs my paper. So
Yeah.
all number one. It's a big disadvantage, to be honest. But Agilandeswari Kannan, and in Instagram, you can see me Agila_new. Otherwise, I think you can drop me an email, agilandeswari.kannan@gmail.com. I'm happy to reach. We reached out and I'm happy to help you out.
Thank you. We are going to go one step above that, and we'll make sure that we leave the links to her LinkedIn profile, Instagram profile in the description down below if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're listening to us on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, you will find this information in the description, in the podcast description as well. So, which means you can now get Rise and Speak podcasts on YouTube. Subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss out on these amazing guests and powerful messages that come from them. Number two, make sure you subscribe on Amazon Music, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We are everywhere so that we can deliver these amazing messages so that you can become a world-class speaker. Thank you very much. It's been an honor to have you, Agila. Thank you, Shruti, for being an amazing co-host on this episode as well. We will see you all next time very soon. Thank you very much. Stay tuned. Rise and Speak podcast. Subscribe right now. Like, subscribe, comment, do all that thing. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.